If you're over 60 and the burning pain down the back of your leg feels like a constant companion, you're not alone. You may be destroying your own mobility without even realizing it. Did you know that most pills only mask the pain for a few hours while the real culprit stays untouched? What if I told you there's one simple movement you can do right now that stops sciatica instantly, no prescription needed? Stay with me, because in the next 15 minutes you'll learn exactly how. If this resonates with you, give this video a like. It tells your brain you're ready for relief. I'm Dr. Laura Martinez, a physiotherapist with 20 years specializing in senior musculoskeletal health. I'm a certified orthopedic manual therapist, and I've helped thousands of seniors regain pain-free movement. Today, we're going to focus on a problem that shows up far more often than most people admit: sciatica in the over 60 community. The common culprits are degenerative disc disease, piriformis tightness, and nerve compression that creates chronic inflammation of the sciatic nerve. But why does this pain flare up after a simple walk or a night of sleeping? Let's uncover what's really happening inside your lower back. First, let's identify the hidden mechanism that keeps sciatica persisting. When the lumbar disc loses height, it creates a pressure point on the exiting nerve. That pressure triggers an inflammatory response that sends sharp-shooting signals down the posterior thigh and calf. Reducing that pressure instantly lowers the nerve's inflammatory response, which is the primary source of that shooting pain. Unlike oral anti-inflammatories that circulate systemically, a targeted stretch directly decompresses the nerve, giving relief in seconds. So why do most medications only offer a temporary Band-Aid? Because they treat the symptom, not the source. They reduce the perception of pain, but the nerve remains compressed, ready to flare up again the next time you stand up or sit down. Now that we understand why the pain stays, let's look at the exercise that actually releases the nerve. I call it the supine knee to chest release. It's a 3-step movement that you can perform on a firm surface, no equipment required. Step 1, lie on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the floor. Step 2, gently draw one knee toward your chest, using both hands to guide it until you feel a mild stretch in the lower back and glutes. Step 3, hold that position for 20 to 30 seconds, breathing deeply, then slowly lower the leg and repeat on the opposite side. The key is to move slowly, feeling the lengthening of the piriformis muscle, which often entraps the sciatic nerve. By elongating that muscle, you create space for the nerve to glide freely, instantly reducing compression. What you might be wondering now is how often you should perform this. For immediate relief, do the movement twice on each side, pause, and then repeat once more after a short walk. Over the next week, incorporate it 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening, to keep the nerve decompressed and the inflammation at bay. This routine works faster than most pills because it addresses the mechanical root of the problem rather than merely dulling the pain signals. Let's talk briefly about why medication often fails in the long term. NSAIDs, for example, block the enzymes that produce prostaglandins, which reduce pain temporarily. However, they do not change the structural narrowing of the spinal canal or the tightness of surrounding muscles. Over time, the body can develop tolerance and the underlying compression remains ready to flare up again. In contrast, a targeted stretch modifies the surrounding soft tissue, improves blood flow, and allows the nerve to move without being pinched. That's why you'll notice a difference within minutes of performing the release and a lasting improvement as you keep the routine consistent. Before we move on to how to integrate this into your daily life, I want to hear from you. What has been your biggest challenge with sciatica, the medication side effects, the fear of movement, or something else? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I truly want to know your perspective. And if this is opening your eyes to a better way of managing pain, consider subscribing so you won't miss the next part, where we'll explore additional supportive strategies like posture adjustments and gentle core activation. Remember, the goal isn't just to mask pain, it's to restore your freedom to walk, garden, and enjoy the moments that matter. The supine knee to chest release is a simple, evidence-based tool that can give you that immediate relief, and with consistent practice, it can keep the pain at bay. Let's keep moving forward together. First, let's talk about how to weave this simple release into the rhythm of your day so that it becomes as natural as brushing your teeth. Imagine waking up, stretching your arms overhead, and then gently guiding each knee toward your chest in the supine position before you even step out of bed. That first repetition not only awakens the nervous system, but also signals to the body that it is safe to move without fear of pain. If you can make this a habit, you will notice that the throbbing sensation that once lingered after a night of sleep begins to fade, giving you the confidence to sit up and start your morning routine with ease. Now, consider the moments when you sit for a long period, perhaps while reading the newspaper or watching a favorite program. It is tempting to remain slouched, but that posture can compress the lumbar spine further, inviting the sciatic nerve to tighten again. Instead, pause every 20 minutes and perform a micro-release. Lie on your back, bend one knee, and let the opposite leg rest flat on the floor. Hold for a breath, then switch sides. This tiny interruption acts like a reset button, maintaining the decompression you achieved earlier in the morning. Have you ever tried a short pause that actually reduces pain rather than aggravates it? You might be surprised at how powerful a brief, mindful movement can be. Let's also address the role of gentle core activation. A weak core often leads to compensatory patterns that overload the lower back, creating a cascade that eventually irritates the sciatic nerve. Think of your core as a supportive corset that holds the spine in a neutral alignment. By engaging the deep abdominal muscles, those that draw the belly button toward the spine, you provide a stable platform for the lumbar vertebrae. A simple cue works well while lying on your back. Place one hand beneath the small of your back and the other on your abdomen. Inhale to expand, then exhale and gently pull the belly button inward, feeling a subtle lift under your hand. Hold for a count of 3 breaths, then release. Repeat this activation 3 times on each side before you move into the knee to chest release. This sequence primes the musculature, making the stretch feel smoother and more effective. But what about those days when you feel fatigued or discouraged? It is natural to wonder whether a gentle routine can truly compete with the instant relief promised by a pill. The answer lies in understanding the difference between masking pain and addressing its source. When medication dulls the nerve signals, the underlying compression remains, and the body eventually adapts, requiring higher doses for the same effect. In contrast, a targeted stretch physically separates the nerve from surrounding tissue, allowing blood flow to increase and inflammation to subside. Over time, this results in a reduction of the baseline pain level, meaning you will need fewer or perhaps no medications at all. Does that sound like a sustainable path to freedom? Let's explore how posture throughout the day can either support or sabotage your progress. When you stand, imagine a string gently pulling the crown of your head toward the ceiling, aligning the spine like a vertical column. This simple visualization encourages a neutral pelvis, which relieves pressure on the sciatic nerve. When you sit, aim to keep both feet flat on the floor, knees at a 90-degree angle and hips slightly back so that the thighs form a right angle with the torso. If you need to sit for extended periods, consider placing a small lumbar roll or rolled towel behind the lower back to maintain that gentle curve. Have you ever noticed how a small adjustment in chair height can change the way your lower back feels after an hour? Small ergonomic tweaks often produce big dividends in comfort. Now let's not forget the importance of movement beyond the dedicated exercise. Walking, when performed with mindful posture, acts as a low-impact rhythmic massage for the sciatic nerve. Start with a slow, deliberate pace, keeping shoulders relaxed and arms swinging naturally. As you become comfortable, you may gradually increase your stride length, but always listen to the signals your body sends. If you feel a twinge, reduce the speed or pause for a brief stretch. In this way, walking becomes both a preventative measure and a gentle strengthening activity for the muscles that surround the lumbar spine. Sleep, too, plays a pivotal role in managing sciatic discomfort. Lying on a firm surface with a pillow placed between the knees can keep the pelvis in a neutral position, preventing the nerve from being pinched during the night. If you prefer to sleep on your side, the pillow acts as a spacer, aligning the hips and reducing rotational stress on the lower back. For those who find comfort on their back, a small pillow under the knees can gently flatten the lumbar curve, minimizing compression. Have you experimented with different sleep positions only to find one that eases the pain? Small changes to your nighttime routine can be as influential as the daytime exercises. Nutrition, though often overlooked, contributes to the inflammatory environment that fuels sciatic pain. While you do not need to become a culinary expert, incorporating anti-inflammatory foods can support the healing process. Think of bright, colorful vegetables, fatty fish rich in omega-3 fatty acids, nuts, and seeds. These foods supply essential nutrients that help modulate the body's inflammatory response. Conversely, reducing intake of processed sugars and excessive saturated fats can prevent spikes in inflammation that may exacerbate nerve irritation. Have you ever felt a difference in joint or muscle soreness after adjusting your diet? Even modest dietary shifts can complement the mechanical relief you gain from movement. Hydration is another cornerstone of nerve health. The spinal discs rely on fluid to maintain their cushioning ability, and adequate water intake ensures that the discs stay supple. Aim to sip water consistently throughout the day, especially before and after your stretching routine. Dehydration can make tissues less pliable, increasing the risk of strain during even gentle movements. Do you remember the last time you felt truly refreshed after a glass of water? That simple act can be a silent ally in your quest for pain-free mobility. While all these strategies form a comprehensive approach, it remains vital to recognize when professional guidance is necessary. If you experience sudden weakness in the leg, loss of bladder control, or persistent numbness that does not improve with the release, these may be signs of a more serious condition requiring immediate medical attention. Likewise, if the pain escalates despite consistent practice, a qualified physiotherapist can assess your movement patterns, identify hidden restrictions, and tailor a program that addresses your unique anatomy. Have you ever hesitated to seek help because you thought the pain was just part of aging? Remember, proactive care often prevents complications down the line. Now, let's map out a practical schedule that integrates all these elements without overwhelming you. Begin each morning with a brief breathing exercise, 3 slow, deep inhales, followed by 3 gentle exhales while seated upright at the edge of the bed. Then transition into the supine knee to chest release, performing 2 repetitions on each side, pausing briefly between sides. Follow with the core activation cue, holding each contraction for 3 breaths. Afterwards, stand, roll your shoulders back, and take a short walk around the house, focusing on a tall, aligned posture. Midday, repeat the micro-release while seated at your desk, and consider a short stroll after lunch to keep circulation active. In the evening before dinner, repeat the full release sequence, incorporate the gentle core activation, and finish with a few minutes of mindful stretching for the hamstrings and glutes areas that often contribute to sciatic tension. Finally, settle into your chosen sleep position with the appropriate pillow support and end the day with a glass of water. Does this rhythm feel manageable for you? Adjust the timing to fit your personal schedule, but aim to keep the core principles consistent. Tracking progress can reinforce motivation and highlight subtle improvements you might otherwise overlook. Keep a simple journal, just a few lines each day, recording the intensity of pain on a scale of 0 to 10, noting any activities that increased or decreased discomfort, and marking the times you performed the release. Over weeks, patterns will emerge, showing you which moments of the day are most challenging and which strategies provide the greatest relief. Have you ever been surprised by how much a short note can reveal about your body's response? This reflective practice not only informs future adjustments, but also celebrates the small victories that accumulate into lasting change. Community support can amplify your success. Engaging with fellow seniors who share similar goals creates an environment of encouragement and accountability. Consider joining an online forum, a local walking group, or a virtual class focused on gentle mobility. Sharing experiences, asking questions, and offering tips can deepen your understanding and keep you motivated on days when progress feels slow. Have you ever felt a boost of energy after hearing someone else's success story? You are not alone on this journey. The collective wisdom of a supportive network often provides the extra push needed to stay consistent. As we draw near the conclusion of this guide, let us revisit the central message. The supine knee to chest release is more than a fleeting trick. It is a scientifically grounded movement that directly addresses the mechanical compression responsible for sciatica. When paired with mindful posture, gentle core activation, regular walking, supportive sleep habits, anti-inflammatory nutrition, and adequate hydration, it becomes a cornerstone of a holistic approach that empowers you to reclaim mobility without reliance on medication. Does this comprehensive plan resonate with your desire for lasting relief? I hope it does, because the ultimate goal is to give you back the freedom to tend your garden, play with grandchildren, and enjoy each sunrise without the shadow of pain. Before we part, I'd like to ask you a final reflection. What aspect of this routine feels most achievable for you right now, and which part might require a bit more patience? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights could help others who are navigating the same challenges. If you found this information valuable, consider giving the video a thumbs up. It signals to the algorithm that this content is helpful and more people will discover these strategies. And if you're eager to stay informed about future tips on senior health, gentle exercises, and evidence-based wellness, feel free to subscribe. Your engagement fuels the creation of more resources designed to support a vibrant, active life at any age. Remember, every small movement you choose to make today builds a foundation for a brighter, pain-free tomorrow. Keep practicing, stay curious, and trust that your body is capable of healing when given the right tools. Together, we can transform the narrative of aging from one of limitation to one of empowerment. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I look forward to guiding you through the next steps on your path to wellness. Keep moving forward, stay safe, and enjoy the journey.